So today I went to see Violent Night or something. It's like about the evil Santa that wants to well, ends up killing loads and loads of people, but it's only because it was like there was like a feud between this family this woman who had taken millions of pounds of government money that was supposed to be used for um, making oil cheap, and she kept a lot of it back. And these people, I think, felt they had a right to get the money back, but they did it via killing all her staff, all her just a lots and lots of violence. And Santa got somehow caught up in this and decided that he doesn't want to give coal for Christmas. He wants to I don't know, kill the people who are these violent, very horrible people. And I saw it with a guy who, the same one I went to go to Blue with, and the other club. And it's interesting because his name was Nicholas, and this whole film was about St. Nick or St. Nicholas. Well, I think that was his original name. But anyway, um, and then I went to the gym and I met up with, okay, there's a guy that I called the lot guy. Really, I meant Job, so I got the name wrong. But he's like the guy, he seemed so intelligent, and he had lots of, kind of lots of stuff and a big business, and then he lost it all and he ended up becoming homeless, and then ended up going through depression. Um, and he, through the depression and the suffering, he said he learned to feel closer to God and learned to appreciate little things and become a much better person. And the last conversation that I had with him was really, really nice because I felt like, wow, he's learned a lot and he's smart. And, you know, um, the story of Job is someone who kind of gets bullied by Satan. But throughout the whole thing, he still loves God and stuff like this. And, he definitely reminded me a lot of the Job guy. um, but yeah, this time around, I had a very different encounter because I left things last time I saw him. I left things that saying, I can change your life, but you need to watch these videos. I've got some proof of something, and it will change your whole perspective on things. And I was so convinced that he was going to go onto the website and look at the videos. But I didn't want to say anything. I wanted him to watch the videos and then come back to me with proof as to why I'm wrong or something like this. But yeah, within the first 5 minutes of me meeting this guy, I haven't seen him for like 2 months, but yeah, within the first 5 minutes, there was a chat about religion in the jacuzzi, and he said that he knows that God is real because he's always there with him. That he heard things about God's being angry and God wanting to get vengeance, and he was just like, no, that's not my God. He's nothing like that. He's very forgiving, very loving. And basically, he said all the things that made me convinced that he has not seen my videos, or if he had, he's completely rejected them. Um, but yeah, I did end up having a conversation with him, but I was kind of a bit angry with him because I felt like the conversation went so well last time. But I didn't want to tell him that I was God because I didn't want to scare him off, basically. But yeah, this time round I was a bit more crude, and I was just like, I think I'm God, and all that stuff where you're saying that you don't think God's angry. Well, I am angry because no one believes in me, and I've been going through. I've told him that I've inspired all songs and films, and lots of people seem to know about me. I mean, either they know about me and they're writing things and doing things about me, or they don't know about me, and they're ignoring me and not helping me in any way, or they don't know about me, and the spirit that is inspiring this stuff is so much more powerful than I realized. Those are the two options. And he was just like, oh, it's not about you at all. You have to bear in mind that other people's perspectives, might be right, and it's not all about you. And he basically completely denied me that, denied that, he said that God is in his life, and God is in his life, and God helps him every day. And therefore, I don't need to believe in you, because whether I believe in you or not, it doesn't make any difference, because God is in my life and God is already doing everything for me. And, God has helped me get through the day. God has helped me get through my alcoholic and my depression. And, God has helped me in every aspect of my life. So therefore, how is believing in you, believing that you're God, how is that going to help me? That was his argument. And he was trying to make that argument, saying that the world isn't going to believe in you. If all you want, he asked me what I want, and I said I want the world to believe that I'm God, and then I want to tell the world that I don't love you and I hate you, and I want you to know the truth. And he was just like, well, you're going to fail. You're going to 100% fail at that, because no one's going to get rid of their faith and a God that helps them with their everyday life and gets them through the day and gives them a reason to live. They're not going to give this belief up for you who claims to not love them and not be able to help them in any way. And he's right. People aren't going to, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that I'm not God. And in his version, the reason why God helps him and God does everything for him is simply because he believes in God. Him believing in God is what makes God do everything for him. But it's just like, well, where's your proof? Where's your proof that God helps you through your everyday life? And he said, I don't have any proof. So I was like, so surely, what would you rather? Believe that God does everything for you, helps you in your everyday life, but have absolutely no proof that God is doing everything for you, or have a real person who comes with real proof, real evidence, and says, I am God, okay, I can't help you and I don't love you, but at the same time I have real proof that there is something, spiritual and supernatural with my life. And he was just like, well, there's something spiritual in my life, strange things happen to me all the time, acting like my life and his life are exactly the same. And it's just like, it's not the same. Where's your evidence that God is real? Where's your evidence that God is there for you? I don't have any, but I do have God. I do have evidence that I'm God. And it's just like, it's just your name. There's loads of people that have that Anna B. Yeah, are there loads of people called Anna B who believe that they're God and believe that they have 4 lives on earth and believe that they're Christ? And I was like, well, no, that's just your belief. That's not our belief. That's not what I believe. That's not, he was bluntly denying me. And it's just like, I get his point. Why was he going to, if he believes that God is doing everything for him and helping him everyday life and is there for him and forgiving, his God is forgiving and loving, if he has such an amazing view on God and everything that God does for him, why would he give up this delusion for something that's not as nice, not as good, not as loving, not as forgiving, not as anything? I mean, I would say that the reason why he should do it is because it's true. It's real. I've got real evidence, Deborah means bee, and that is the judge of the Bible. And he was just like, well, yeah, but that's just your interpretation of it. It's like, it's not my interpretation. Deborah means bee. That's a real thing. And it's like, no. See that pot is blue. That is real evidence. There's a blue pot there. And I was like, yeah, Deborah means bee. That is a real evidence because that literally is what it means. And it's just like, but it doesn't mean that in Hebrew. It means that in Hebrew, yeah, but it doesn't mean. Yeah, he was kind of confused as to why everything drawn back to English, and I was like, because I made English. English is my language, and it's like, well, that's impossible because God wrote it. God wrote the Bible in a different language long ago. I was like, yeah, God knows the beginning from the end. And I was just like, well, how do you know God knows the beginning from the end? Like, his argument just didn't make it. It made sense, but it didn't, because he was like, how do you know God knows the beginning from the end? Because I'm God and I've seen an evidence within my belief, that everything points to English, and therefore God knew English even when writing these ones, because the English translation it's complicated and I can't explain it. But I felt like I had to give up with him. I had to give up with him because at the end of the day, he wasn't willing to look at the evidence because he is happy. And I asked him, why didn't you watch the video? And he said he had a feeling that it might be something like this, like me saying that I'm powerful in a way and giving proof of that. And he would rather me say it to him, like ask him, me tell him all the reasons why. But at the end of the day, I did tell him all the reasons why. Well, I gave him a list of it, heaven, Havana, Nirvana is near Anna, and heaven is Havan, and Hosanna, add a silent W, Hosanna. And she was like, well, that doesn't mean Hosanna. Hosanna is something different in Hebrew. I'm like, I don't care what it means in Hebrew. It means this is in English. It was always going to be translated to Hosanna in English. Whatever the old translation was, it doesn't matter. It was always going to be translated into this because God knows this language and not that language. And he was like, well, that doesn't make sense because God was in the past and therefore God didn't write English. Humans write English. He's convinced that God wrote is that his Hebrew, that's his language, or Arabic, or whatever's in the past. That's where God is, not now. God is not in this time. Oh, I don't know, but yeah, some people are just completely hopeless, and I don't know, but yeah, who is going to get? The thing is, I don't care. I do not care if the people who I believe are writing songs about me, if they would have helped me 10 years ago and just said, you know, we believe you, we're going to help you be a singer, we're going to help you have a much better life, none of these people would have made, I wouldn't have cared. I want a better life, and I don't have a better life. I have a horrible, shitty, nasty life. And the reason why I have a horrible, shitty, nasty life is because no one is helping me. No one is giving me a job that I want, or a job that's nice, or you know, I wanted to be in the film industry or in the music industry or just something fun. I wanted to do that, and no one offered me any of these jobs, and so I just had massage, which I don't like. I as a normal human, it's okay, but not as a god. And you know, I've been forced into this horrible, shitty, horrible life, and if 99% of the population don't believe me, I do not give one shit. Not one shit at all. I just wanted a better life. And I didn't get that. And the reason why I didn't get that is because the people who believe are ignoring me, and everyone else isn't able to help me or isn't wanting to help me, you know. And it does bother me when people don't believe me, because I've got thousands of people doing things about me, hurting me, and these people are just talking about me or believing rubbish. You know, God helps me in my everyday life. You know, I feel God all around me. He's always there for me. You know, I really love this, and He's not going to give up his delusion for me. But that's why I hate him. That's why I hate people like him, because they'd much rather believe the delusion than believe the truth. And if I was living a happy, nice life, then I wouldn't care if they believed the delusion. I wouldn't help them. But to be honest, I don't actually know what I can do as a god. You know, as a god, I don't know. I just don't know. But because of the life that I've lived, and because I know that no one is helping me, I feel a huge amount of hatred towards anyone that doesn't believe me, because no one who believes me will be able to help me. Only the people who believe me and are in the position to help me can help me. And I feel like if the majority of people can't help me, then why should I help them? You know, why should I help them? And maybe I don't know why I need to be in this position, but maybe I'm not meant to help people. You know, I don't want to help people. I definitely won't be helping people after this. 100% nothing, absolutely nothing. And I don't know if I'm ever going to be exposed during my lifetime. Maybe I'm just going to go the whole of my life. Hopefully, I die young, without anyone believing. Maybe all the things that I found, all the things that I've discovered, is just going to fade away and die, and no one's going to know or believe. And I'm just going to be like, that was your chance to get to know God, and you didn't. And you know, I'm happy you have delusions of God, or delusions of things that are helping you when they're not. And I'll just let people live in their delusions. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that is the plan, to not get exposed, to not have anyone help or believe, and all the people that, if there are people doing things about me behind my back, you know, I know they're definitely doing things about me behind my back, but do they consciously know that they're doing things about me behind my back, or is it just spiritual? I don't know. But yeah, maybe the plan is just to never help anyone and just spend the whole timeline not being believed, or I mean, I'm believed by a couple of people, but how can they help me? How can you help me if you don't own a TV company, or if you don't know people who could get me on TV? I want to be the test of the world. I want there to be a test of the world. I believe that the Matrix is able to program things and work out, you know, who's able to believe me and who's not. And my higher self is is wanting to choose people that can help me and see who can help me, see who wants to believe me, see who rather care about the truth. You know, what would you rather believe? That God can do everything and does everything and all forgiving, all merciful. All you need to do is just believe in it, and that's it. That's all you need to do, and God will do everything, even though there's absolutely no evidence that that is the truth. Or would you rather believe in a God that can't do everything, isn't what you want her to be, probably doesn't even like you, probably hates everyone, but at the same time, there be real magic, real evidence, real proof that says that there's something weird about this that's, supernatural? Or would you just be like, oh yeah, spiritual things happen to me all the time, I'm a spiritual person, oh, yeah, it doesn't mean you're God. I think I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual, and strange things happen to me. You think of someone, they call you, and wow, that's it. No, but that doesn't mean you're God. I mean, the whole Bible isn't linking to you, and singers and songs and film, everything seems to link to me, and I just I don't care. I don't care if he doesn't believe. I don't care who believes. I just want my life to be ended, and then I just want to just continue not helping anyone.